Go ahead and grab yourself a cup of tea because today we got both tea and craft to share. Age has given me more confidence and more time to experiment in life and in my craft, much like this journal, the Rose Remnant, with its jewel spine, roses, and unapologetic flair. I started it over a year ago, and today we're finishing it. Welcome back, Radiant Souls. We're returning to a project that's been quietly waiting for me for over a year. A journal that feels like opening a drawer of old memories, some lovely, some sharp. I'm starting by choosing the papers I'll use on the inside cover. Back then, I was experimenting with jewel spines, something I plan to revisit. Check out the tutorial on how I made this spine. Last time we saw each other, I was working on my Emerald Rain journal, another project waiting for me to complete. Because after I uploaded the video of the start of that journal, I took on a completely different project, helping a friend produce a music video. I wrote the concept, gathered props, picked up locations, and helped shape the visual tone. I was proud to be part of it, but I also had this moment of clarity. My own work is collecting dust, and I'm the one leaving it there. That's not a knock on the artist, and it was a beautiful process that I learned from, but it made me realize my own projects needed the same level of commitment. I made these Victorian filigree-inspired book corners with a hot glue gun and molds. Then I painted them with acrylics. I also used Aline's original acrylic sealer to seal them for durability. It's the kind of experimentation I might have been hesitant to try when starting junk journaling, but time brings confidence and the freedom to explore without apology. Speaking of freedom, a younger woman on Instagram recently told me I was too old to be at raves, too old to dress up, too old to have fun, and honestly I had to laugh. The kind of opinion usually says more about insecurity than it does about me. I don't dress up to look young. I dress up because I enjoy shining in my own way, and I don't know anyone an age-appropriate dimmer switch. Aging is a privilege. Not everyone gets to grow old, and those who fear it often miss the chance to embrace some of the most powerful years of their lives. As for me, I will be out. I will be radiant, experimenting, dancing, and completely unbothered. So tell me, what do you think? Do you feel freer now than when you were younger? Or are you still learning how to give yourself that permission? On a brighter note, I was recently featured in Voyage LA, which was a nice surprise. They asked about my creative journey and this brand, OneHornLA. I've linked the article in the description if you'd like to read it. Now let's get into the flip through. Let's start with the cover. I wanted to challenge myself by using paint, but honestly, I don't love how it turned out. If I could redo it, I skipped the dolly element in the front. I also made a small mistake with the spine. I didn't notice until later that I placed the pendant backwards, so the flowers in the front are facing the wrong way. Funny thing is, I didn't even intend for this to be a rose-themed journal when I began. To avoid the dreaded gator mouth, I kept it to 2 signatures, 20 pages total. Looking back, I think I should have added 2 more, bringing it up to 40 pages. Instead, I tried compensating with album-style flaps, if that's the right term. They worked, but they made the journal look uneven from the side. And besides that, again I didn't pay attention and I glued them backwards. Other than that, it's a simple journal with room for pictures. Next time though, I like to try a cleaner style. For example, covering the cardboard edges with canvas fabric under the paint would have given it a smoother and more professional look. What I do love are the filigree borders and the rose motif. The jewel spine also still makes me smile, but next time, instead of fresh flowers, I probably use dry ones. This time around, I wanted to see what would happen if I just encapsulated a fresh one. And well, now I know. What about you? When you look back on your own projects, do you focus on what you fix, or do you mostly admire what you nailed? I love to know how you balance critique with appreciation. On the inside cover, I created a storage pocket by upcycling a simple paper bag. Inside, I've tucked away some small treasures. Watercolor paintings I made of botanicals done on coffee dye paper. I processed the paper with the momogami technique to give it a soft fabric-like texture. Then I fussy cut the pieces and slow stitched them. It's one of those details that feels extra personal, turning scraps and experiments into something that carries both beauty and story. On the next page, I added a small pocket made from scrap paper. Finished it with lace stitching for decor and a few stamped botanicals on the paper to make it look as if they're spilling out of the pocket. I also crafted a mini scrapbook from a recycled paper bag and leftover scraps from this project, then glued it directly onto the page for extra writing space. Further into the journal, I tucked in a few extra writing spots made from scraps, reminding me that nothing really goes to waste here. And at the very back, I added another hidden storage section using upcycled packaging, this time with a little twist. I made a window from clear plastic packaging and layered in pressed flowers, so the pocket doubles as a display. It's simple, but I love how it gives the journal an almost keepsake feel. These little touches, the reused scraps, the stitched edges, the hidden windows, they remind me that imperfections have their own charm. This project isn't pristine or overly polished, but it's layered with experiments, discoveries, and small risks I wouldn't have taken a few years back. In that way, it mirrors my own journey. Flawed in places, but still growing, still learning, and still worth cherishing. Thank you for being here, truly. Whether you came for the craft, the stories, or both, I'm honored to share this space with you. Until next time, stay soft, stay steady, and for goodness sake, keep making space for your story. Love, Mariella.